Hey there, it's me Eden. Welcome to Eden's Crossdressing Stories. Today I'm going to share with you crossdressing story called Wife Feminized Ungrateful Husband Part 11. So, if you're new to the channel, then please consider subscribing to get a new story every day. And please support my work on Patreon and get early access of the content. Patreon.com/Eden07. Link in the comment, thanks. Did I tell you that Joe has been to work as Joanna once in full dress? Asked Karen. And oh, really? That's terrific, Joyce replied. What was the reaction? None, really, except that all the girls applauded when she came in with a skirted business suit, heels, polished nails, dangles and a new do. How did Joanna like the feeling? She loved it and wore flats the very next day as Joe and ever since. I guess things went a little further with Joe than you were planning? Yes, after the vitamins mellowed him out, he began to sprout a bosom and things just seemed to go in that direction ever since. It was fun watching the changes. We are getting along so much better and I just really don't seem to mind it either. In fact, when I realized where his head was, I began to offer her various clothing options in the bedroom and then it moved out into the living room and now Joanna has been out in the real world at work. It's amazing. I actually got the hots for converting her all the way too. Are you okay with Terry becoming a woman, Joyce? Asked Karen. Joyce replied, I can't wait to see that happen. I wish I could be invisible in the room the first time she has multiple orgasms with a man. Guess I've developed a soft spot for my little creation. I've mellowed out some and there is no use being angry with him anymore since the heat is practically non-existent anyway. Revenge was sweet and I couldn't want a better girlfriend. She is more true to me than Tom ever was. The things the tapes didn't reprogram him for, I have taught her, just like any older sister would, and my little plan has worked out just about perfectly, don't you think? His attitude adjustment is now complete and I've had my revenge, so I've reduced spouse abuse by 1 even though I may have created the competition for my next husband. Wow, Joyce, I never knew you could get that pissed with somebody and of course, we did notice changes in Tom but didn't want to say anything and it has been a while since we've seen him. You've always had some excuse why he wasn't there and your sis-in-law Terry was. Now I understand why there was such a strong family resemblance to Tom. I think she is very pretty and at only 5'8", like Joanna, would be just right for modeling, only Joanna is just cute, not pretty enough to be a model like Terry. We've talked about that, Karen. We might try to get her modeling work here and she could do the computer thing over in Traverse City. Now that Joanna seems to be following in her footsteps and it's all out in the open, it's about time we 4 girls got together and had a hen party, don't you think? Sure. Sounds like fun. And what stories we'll all have to tell. And, now that I have things completely under control, if you'd like, you can borrow the tapes and pillow speaker. I guarantee, Joanna will become a perfect lady uncontrollably, if that is what you or she would like to do with your new girlfriend. One word of caution though. The programming is pretty much irreversible. The body stuff is one thing, but the brainwashing is quite another. Well, I don't know, Joyce. She has gone to work as Joanna and nobody seems to mind, but I don't know about going all the way with her head unless she really wants to. I do love Joanna and if that is what she really wants, then that is what will happen, but I'm leaving it up to her. Joyce added, if you decide to go that route, you may as well start her on her B12 shots. By this time, she can't be getting much satisfaction from having that old useless thing between her legs anyway, and with a gaff, you'll swear you're looking at a love canal. I would like to see her in a bikini, said Karen. I think she has a great body and that liposuction does sound like a neat idea. I wonder what Joanna would look like with a 26-inch waist. Of course, that would be the end of Joe for sure. Female impersonators wear gaffs dancing in front of real men and you can't even tell they are not women and some of them are really well endowed, Joyce told her. Well, we can see if Joanna wants to try it. I don't think I need to push her along like you did with Terry because we're coming from different motivations, but I know she would enjoy looking unmistakably female when she is dressed that way and those voice tapes would sure help that. She did make a remark about really becoming a girl once. And yes, Joanna could still stand some more behavioral modifications, so I accept your offer of the other tapes too. Who knows? I may just go ahead with the behavioral mods anyway and sort of neglect to tell her until I'm satisfied she's thoroughly female, although he hasn't given me any crap for quite a while. I'll give you a progress report when I see the changes you've described begin to show up. If I don't like them, I can always stop. They won't make him really swishy, will they?
Oh no,
replied Joyce, but undeniably female in every nuance of every move she makes and everything she says. Of course, there are disadvantages, like when you need someone strong to move or lift something and Terry can't do it alone anymore. And also, once you are well along with the tapes, you are also going to be faced with sending Joanna out into the workforce for real and all the time, because the imprinting is turned on all the time and Joe won't be able to pass as Joe anymore. He will be all girl from inside out, as I said, uncontrollably, incapable of thinking like a male. Joe will literally disappear off the planet. You would not believe how utterly feminine Terry has become. But, we can get those little things taken care of even without a man around the house, can't we? Muscle mass and neutralizing the testosterone eventually causes their bodies to take on the same softness and same lack of muscle definition as ours. Actually, we may have a problem because I think I may be a little jealous of how pretty she turned out. I'm doing my best to deal with that. Terry has become my competition, but it was my own doing, so I can't say much. Who knows? I may get a little plastic work myself, just to stay ahead. If you go ahead with the tapes, Joanna may remain asexual, heterosexual female or, in her mind, turn gay considering you guys are still married. I've been dealing with the possibility that Terry and I may both end up dating men and living together as sisters. It could get pretty strange, so think about it a while first. Joanna loves to dress up as she doesn't get the chance to do it at work for real, much like Terry does. I'm sure she'd adore him, and I just know when she understands who Terry really is, they are going to become best friends since they have so much common ground. Terry is so much farther ahead, I'm sure she has a lot she could teach Joanna, Karen remarked. Why don't we get together over the weekend? In fact, why don't we think about incorporating, said Joyce. The girls could go out and handle the nuts and bolts and we could do the rest. Think about it. I will, Joyce. See you and Terry Saturday night at about 7? Fine. And the adventure began anew. Joanna got a part-time job at night to try it out doing data entry for a local department store. It didn't pay much, but it was a good experience for a new girl. She passed beautifully and loved it. No one ever had a clue she was anything but a completely feminine being. People are beginning to do double takes and act a little strange toward Joe. I think she would really appreciate the tapes now, thought Karen. I think I'll start her on them for Christmas. This job Joe is on will end about then and then Joanna can have a life of her own. And just as Joyce had promised, as if by magic, Joanna became a perfect lady right before my eyes. I didn't have to tell her another thing or correct her about anything. She remembers Joe and her other life but is just thrilled with her new one. Those subliminal people really know how to teach. That's all for now. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Oh yes, next part of this series will be published soon. So, please subscribe to my channel. And to get early access of the content, visit my Patreon page. patreon.com/Eden07. Link in the comment and description.